All right, guys, in this video, we have here a Dell Optiplex 3020, but if you have a Dell Optiplex 7020, 9020, I just also have to include that in the title of this video. The process is pretty much the same. I've got here a 512 gigabytes of NVMe of SATA SSD. Problem is that in the last days, I have been, upgrading systems with NVMe SSD, and sometimes I tend to forget. Once again, my SSD of choice, of course, I've got so many SSDs of choice depending on what you like. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below where you can actually take a look, a first-hand look at my SSDs of choice. And if you are trying to upgrade your PC, this is something you can actually, do. See, first things first, how do you open this PC? I want to go ahead. Some people want, it's not just coming out. Some people might want to, begin to pull on this, back cover right here, but guys, I'm going to tell you for free, it's not going to work. What you want to do is to make sure that you unlock these screws right here, and then in this way you can actually take out the front panel, closing your PC. See, this is a beautiful PC, I can tell you for free. It's been around for quite a while now, but it's a PC that can still stand the test of time in terms of design. There is nothing that will make you see this PC and make you begin to think that this is a PC from 10 years ago. All right, this is one beautiful PC, quiet when it's working, and it's actually very, very easy, simple to upgrade. See, when you take out the back cover or the side cover, depending on how you orientate the PC, right now it's the top cover, but if I stand the PC like this, then it's going to be the side cover. When you take this out, first thing you want to do, if you want to get access to where the RAM sticks are, even though you can do it from here, but I want to warn you, it's much easier if you take out the DVD drive right here. That you can take off by lifting up this this knob right here and dragging it, and you can actually twist that to the side. All right, and then go ahead, disengage this HDD card right there, unplug the SATA and the power cable, and you can actually gently lift this out. This is exactly what you need to do. Every other thing, I won't be able to tell you if that would be a good idea. Right, if you have that in place, you can then go ahead and do that. It's kind of interesting because this PC has a really robust SSD holder. I won't lie, I've not really seen something like this before, but I'm just going to gently take a look at this, how this is how you can actually install this. So the process basically has to be the same. Just take out the SSD holder right there, and there's something that tells me lock. So I'm going to try to unlock this. Or no, I may not have to unlock that because that might just well be where the SSD is going to stay. Honestly, like I said, I haven't seen this before. Oh, this is beautiful. So this is kind of amazing. This is very, very practical because you do not need any screws. All you have to do is to push down this right here, and you can take out the SSD just like that. But then it's kind of I think you also have to, man, it's amazing what these people just make these days. What I want to do is just to make sure that this comes out, but now it's kind of proving a little bit difficult. Okay, we'll see. All right, this is how it goes, and it should normally come out like that. I'm just going to take my 512 gigabyte SSD. I'm going to push it right there. It's practical because I do not need screws, but I don't know if all this process was necessary, and then I can then go ahead and lock this right there. Interesting. This is the first time I'm seeing this, but then if you have that in place, you have your SSD well locked in the caddy, you want to go ahead and replace that just like that. You might need a little bit of pulling and twisting for it to be able to come in neatly, but I'm going to tell you for free that this is pretty much what you need. This is ultimately going to go back to the case just like that. This is one beautiful system that Dell did bring out a long time ago, but I think right now you do not have PCs that have this kind of systems anymore. It's kind of complicated caddy. Now, attempt to cut costs, a lot of things have been taken out, but these were how these PCs were set up many years ago, and very, very practical they were. But right now, like I said, things have pretty much changed. All right. So on this PC, I'm going to imagine that we have an 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Exactly. This is 4 gigabytes, and this is the other 4 gigabytes, so making a total of 8 gigabytes. But once again, this is something I do not want these PCs to have. I always like a station where the PC has a minimum of 16 gigabytes of SSD of RAMs. And today it's kind of difficult to talk, but it is what it is. I hope I understand that you guys understand what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm kind of tired and I need to get something to eat. See, I have a very decent RAM stick here. It's called Moto Ego, kind of very budget friendly. Also, the video has not been sponsored by them, but if you are looking for good RAM sticks, it is something I have also used myself. And like I always, tell you guys on this channel, I wouldn't come here to tell you something I haven't used. If I tell you that this is a very responsible PC, you can trust me on that, because it's a PC I have personally used myself. Never ever had problems, with these RAM sticks. And also, this Dell Optiplex 3020, I can tell you for free that, this is one responsible PC that you can actually have for your office, depending on the kind of work. If you are the kind of person that says, look, I don't want to just spend money on buying expensive PCs only for me to be watching YouTube videos with the PCs, all right, then you may want to consider a PC like this. If you have some kind of light task, office task, these are things that you can actually knock off with a beautiful PC like this. Guys, what I just did was to slot in the RAM sticks, 16 gigabyte DDR3 RAM, and then went ahead to replace the the hard drive card, and then thereafter pushed in the DVD drive just like that. See, this is very, very straightforward. I tend to make these videos just to show some of the people that say, no, hardware money, please take us by the hand and tell us step for step what we need to do. This is a decent one. I'm going to be keeping this on the side. It's a 256 gigabytes of DD. What? Today is kind of crazy. I'm calling RAMs SSD. I'm calling SSD RAMs. This is a 256 gigabytes of SATA SSD, beautiful, from SanDisk. I'm just going to be keeping this on the side. Beautiful thing is that this PC has everything right now, and I'm going to go ahead, power it on to see that everything is working. Yes, it can happen when you are a little bit, tired. All right, but today I'm going to take a rest after this video, because I've knocked up a few videos today, kind of upgraded a little bit of, a lot of PCs, just to show you guys how it actually goes. And yes, it is what it is. If you like this kind of content, go ahead, be subscribed to the channel, click on the like button. Until I see you again in the next one, peace.